to you. Welcome to 2022. And if you're new to this channel, welcome. And glad to have you aboard. If you're coming back, thank you for coming back in 2022. So, what can we say about what the predictions are for this year? By the way, this is my first video of the year. There's so much going on in the world right now, like with the Omicron variant from COVID, which I do believe I caught it 2 weeks ago. I actually got sick on Christmas Day. When I went to my daughter's house, I felt fine when I drove over there, and then by the time I left, I had fever, chills, and achy sore muscles for about 3-4 days afterwards. Now, I say I think I got it because I didn't bother even going to my local urgent care place to get a test done, because when I drove past there, that place was slam-packed with cars, and I was like, hey, I'm on vacation anyway. Why do I need to know if I got this or not? I'm not even gonna, I feel like shit. I'm not gonna sit in a clinic for 3 hours waiting for test results. But just, according to the symptoms that I read about with the fever, the aches and all that, I was like, yeah, this is more than just a flu. But anyway, I'm feeling better. Long story short, it's been about a week and a half. I do feel like I'm getting a little bit better. You'll have to excuse me because I'm still trying to clear my throat, and I do have a little bit of head congestion as well. But the reason for this video is just for me to lay out my thoughts and predictions and of what I think about this new year coming up. Like I said, besides the COVID thing, it's also just the cost of living in general has just gone so high. My rent personally has jumped $66 since last year when I renewed my lease. It's a big chunk of money, especially when you're not really prepared. I mean, I knew the rent was going to go up, but $66? Whew, I was like, okay. So then I asked my rental, my landlord, I was like, can I maybe get on a list to get moved into a cheaper apartment? Like, I love this apartment complex, but instead of staying in a 3-bedroom townhome, I was looking to see if I could get down to a 2-bedroom apartment, because it would save me about $150 to $200 a month in rent. And they're like, sure. So they put me on a waiting list, and I am like number 80. I am number 80 on this waiting list, and besides that, they've got new people coming in off the street, so they're having to evenly divide who they give these apartments to. Like, they're going to give out so many transfer apartments, and then they're going to give out so many to the new people coming in. So this could take me a whole nother year at paying another $66 a month in rent just to get into another cheaper apartment. And then I thought, well, okay, well, maybe I have a choice of going into a whole brand new apartment complex, and I could just move and be done with it. But then it's like, I checked out the places, they're smaller, neighborhoods are okay. Yeah, the rent's cheaper, but then again, like, I'd have to start over. I'd have to put new deposits down. I'd have to pay first, last rent, blah, 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 and it's just too expensive. So it's better for me just to actually just stay where I'm at. Oh, and that's another thing. They said that, hey, sweetie, my kitty cat. They said that it costs $250 to transfer to a new apartment. So they're still going to charge me money to do it, but it's cheaper than spending, like, say, $2,000 to move out and start all over again. So I guess I have no choice. I got to wait. But the way I look at it, I don't mind, because at least I have a place to live, and my son has a roof over his head. So, and I still have my day job. things are better than a lot of people that are dealing with their struggles right now. And what I mean by that is, like, there's a lot of homeless people out there. I call them the working poor. Or, when you think of homeless, you think of somebody who's actually living on the street. Now, I'm talking about families that they're that close to living on the street, but they're actually living in their cars, um, or they're living in a hotel by the week, and they're barely making ends meet. Like, they barely have the money to afford to live in a hotel by the week. Now, down here in Florida, like especially around the Disney area, you can get on the outskirts of Disney. It's a place called Kissimmee, and there's a lot of older hotels out there that rent by the week, and they charge about $150 per week, all utilities included, and Wi-Fi. Now, it adds up. That's $600 a month, but if you're not working, you still can't even afford that. So you really got to feel for these people that are, their families. Like I said, they have 2 to 5 kids that they're trying to support in a hotel room. And, I'll let you in on a little secret. Like, phew, this was years ago. I'd say at least 10 years ago, maybe more like 12. It's been a good 10 to 12 years. My husband and I had to live in a hotel down here in Winter Haven before we got into these apartments, and it was tight. It was tight. My son, I think, was only about 3 or 4, and my daughter was like about 9. And there's the 4 of us in a 2-bed little bitty hotel room that, had a little burner so that I could cook some dinner. And we had 1 bed, 1 bath, 2 beds, and, of course the kids are wanting to play, and they get wild and want to jump up and down on the beds, and then, you just want to go to sleep. I mean, I was working, but at that time, we just moved from another state. We hardly had any money, and we had to take what we could get until we could save up and actually make our way into these apartments. So I feel for all those families out there that are struggling to make ends meet, and and they need the help. And then not only that, I mean, you got the inflation that's going up with the food and just goods to buy. And like, you can go around the corner down where I live. There's a town called Lake Wales, and there's a small, oh God, I can't think straight. It's the cold, I'm sorry. Flea market, that's the word. There's a small flea market around the corner that, is closed during the week, but I think it's like on Wednesdays or something like that. But there's a food bank that goes out there and hands out free boxes of food for people that need it. And you'd be surprised at all the cars that that are not only in line in this flea market waiting to get this box of food, but they're wrapped out to the main road. Like, it's a highway that's off of there, and they're coming out onto the highway parked on that day. These are people that are struggling, that they can't afford to go to the grocery store and buy food for their family. So they're in line every week waiting to get this food. And it's sad because it's like, here I am, fortunate enough to be able to have money to go to the grocery store, and then I see these people waiting in line for hours waiting to get a box of food. And it just, it really tugs at my heart. And it's sad because, you think about it, this is America. Like, what are we doing? Like, what is going on? And I think, in my opinion, the pandemic didn't open this box of worms and let them all out. I think the pandemic actually just amplified what's already been going on in America, with the working poor and the cost of living going up, and not to mention, like, back in the day, back in the, say, the 80s, if you were a teenager back then, or you just got it like 19, 20, you could go get a job and you could afford to go pay rent for a one-bedroom place and have your own place and start a family, right? Now it's like kids barely can get out of the house when they're 18 and 19. They can't make it on a single paycheck, minimum wage, and be able to afford the rent for a one-bedroom place and food and bills and all that. So what do? They're either staying with their parents longer, or they have to look for a roommate. My daughter had to do that when she moved out at 18. There was no way. She even, she moved from here to Tampa, and the rent was expensive out in Tampa, so she had to get various roommates to live with to help split the cost of the bills. Otherwise, she could have never been living out on her own. That's just unheard of. So if you got kids, you understand where I'm coming from. What are you doing? Look at my cat. You want to be on camera, Luna? What you doing, girl? What you doing? Look at you. Say hello. Hello. Do you want to come? Aw, she's cute. Sorry, let me fix this camera. Anyway, I couldn't help it. That was adorable. You're so adorable. So I'll just wrap this up. I mean, I think it's going to be a really, really rocky road ahead of us. I really do. I think 22 is going to be is going to lend itself to some improvements, but I also think that we're going to be on a long ride as far as inflation's concerned. I feel that the cost of living is definitely going to be going up, and it's going to go up, up, up before it goes down, down, down. Like me personally, like I said, I'm very fortunate with the job I have and being able to work remote and being able to do these videos for you. But there's a lot of people out there that just, they're struggling, and I feel that we need to have empathy for these people when you see them. Like, don't treat them like crap, Don't feel like they're not trying to work, or they're not trying to be a part of society and contribute, because I feel that this is the year of survival for all of us. Like, it's not only recovery from COVID, but it's the year of survival. Because now there's no more safety nets from the government. There's not gonna, if we're lucky, we might get stimulus check this year, but I doubt it. But, I think all of that is over, in my opinion, and I feel that it's going to be a rocky road for a lot of people this year, and that's sad. And I hope and pray that our economy gets back on track, that we can put COVID behind us to an extent where, if you have to get the shot, you don't have to get the shot. You have to save your job, or you don't. I mean, I know that that's a whole nother video in itself about just having the freedom to choose if you should get vaccinated or not. And I won't get into all that, my opinion on that, but it's just going to be a year's survival. So hey, drop me a comment. Tell me what you think 2022 is going to be for you. I'd like to hear it. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and as always, thank you for watching, and I will respond to your comments, so definitely put them down below, let me check them out, and let's talk. Thank you so much for watching, and have a happy 2022, or, if it can't be happy, at least hang in there, all right? Because things will get better.